Welcome to the Clermont County Board of Commissioners meeting this morning, this first day of December. Can you believe it? For all you gentlemen out there, have you got your Christmas shopping done? That's exactly what I thought. You have it, and neither have I. Prior to starting our meeting officially, we always ask local clergy if they would come in and lead us in prayer this morning. This morning, we do not have someone from the local clergy, so I will stand in for them. If you are so inclined, please bow your heads and participate with me. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've made. And Lord, we thank you for the ability to gather today at this Clermont County Board of Commissioners meeting. We just enjoy the freedom that comes with being able to gather and express our ideas and to talk about ways to make Clermont County a better place to live, work, and raise a family. Lord, but it takes a lot of people to be able to do that. We ask you watch over those who are in the uniform of the sheriff's office today and those of law enforcement throughout Clermont County. We ask you be with those fighters, EMTs, and paramedics that risk their lives every day, that go away from their families to ensure our safety. We ask that you be with those who are ill and afflicted and who are unable to attend our meeting today. We ask that your healing hand be placed upon them, that they may be able to join us at a later date. Now we just ask that you bless all the people who are here today, the members of our staff and those of our community who have come here today to express their interest. Lord, we may ask that all of these things are pleasing in your sight. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And now to officially start our meeting, I'll ask Commissioner Corcoran to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you've ever wondered, every once in a while, I get one of those great emails from folks who believe that prayer is not acceptable in government meetings. I just wanted to let you know that your legislature has protected that process as long as it's done prior to the official call of the meeting. And that's why it's always done after the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you ever have an opportunity to explain that to someone, they can look it up in the legislature. And that's exactly why we do it. So glad that you're here today. We have called this meeting to order. And our first order of business is I would like a motion to excuse Commissioner Batchelor from today's meeting. She had to attend a very personal meeting for her. So we hope that everything is all right and that she joins us again shortly. So I've made a motion.
I will second. I'll make the motion. I'll second. Which one did
Okay,
you
then
do?
moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran, Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
We will see Commissioner Batchelor. Our first order of business is approval of regular session meeting minutes of 11/19/2025. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Our next order is the introduction of some new employees. So first up is Clermont County Board of Commissioners, Angie Libasay. Angie?
Good morning, board. I'm here to introduce Bethany Schisler. She's our new BCC Administrative Assistant 2. She started earlier in November. So she started during a very busy time for us with holidays and everything, and she's hung in there so far. So she's a native of Loveland. She now lives in Milford with her partner of 21 years and their 16-year-old Labrador Retriever, Reese. She has a son, Cameron, who is a proud U.S. Marine Corps veteran and is now a student in network engineering. She likes reading, likes traveling. I found this interesting. She studied abroad in Spain during college and likes to travel to the Caribbean. So she's coming to us with lots of experience in banking, IT, kind of you name it, project coordination. So she's done a whole bunch. So we're excited to have her here.
Welcome. We're glad
Bethany,
you're here.
thanks for coming to Clermont County. You bet. Next up is Clermont County Transportation Connection, Shawanda Mahaffey, to introduce Wanda Saylor. Morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to introduce Wanda Saylor. She's our newest CTC driver. Wanda is married with 3 grown children, lives in Williamsburg. She has a very strong transportation background at Greyhound and Metro. During her free time, she likes to restore antique furniture. And we'd like to welcome her to our team.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming to Clermont County. You bet.
Sure.
Any
Picture.
picture? Yeah, let's get a picture of our new employees up front. Yep.
It was good. Thank you.
Folks, we have seats up front if you'd like to sit down. We do, over here. Okay. There they go.
Next order of business is letter C. It's a proclamation, a designation of December 7th as Pearl Harbor Day in Clermont County. And I understand that Clermont County Commander of the American Legion, Ken Phillips, is here this morning to accept the proclamation. Is that right? Was that close? Jay.
Kenny is AWOL right now, so.
Okay. No problem.
Shall see due diligence.
Come on up, Jay.
Glad it's not me.
Proclamation for Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, December 1st, 2025. Whereas on December 7th, 1941, fighters and bombers appeared above the skies of southern Hawaii and without warning commenced to attack the United States Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor. Caught by surprise, the brave individuals stationed there, which included a number of persons from Clermont County, rushed into action to defend their ships, planes, and comrades' base and ultimately their nation. The devastating aerial assault lasted 2 hours, killing 2,400 Americans and injuring many others. Whereas today we remember with grateful hearts those who fought and those who died in that terrible Sunday morning. Their courageous sacrifices saved lives, and stories of their unparalleled heroism galvanized our nation. Whereas Americans who enjoy the blessing of living in a free nation, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to the brave men and women who defended our nation on that day in 1941. We are grateful for all who answered duty's call in the defense of our nation. Whereas December 7th, 2025 shall be declared Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day in Clermont County. In conjunction with declaration issued by Governor DeWine, all flags on all government buildings in Clermont County shall be flown at half staff from sunrise to sunset, December 7th, 2025. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed that we, the Clermont County Board of Commissioners, do hereby declare December 7th as Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day in Clermont County, in conjunction with the declaration issued by the governor that all flags on all government buildings in Clermont County will be flown at half staff from sunrise to sunset, December 7th. And it's signed by all 3 commissioners, Clermont County, Ohio. Jay, on behalf of the Clermont County Commissioners, I'd like you to accept this proclamation for Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day.
Yep.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
You bet. And thank you for your service. Podium's yours. Yeah.
Real quick, I just like to showcase, the American Legion and other veterans organizations work real hard to keep these programs active. A lot of these programs showcase veterans and significant events and history that help shape this country and the freedoms that we all enjoy. We greatly appreciate the support from our commissioners and partnering with us to keep these events highlighted, keep them out in the public, and many of them show up for the events. This Sunday, 2 p.m. down in Richmond, down on Susanna Way at the Pearl Harbor Memorial will be our observance this year. We have partnered with the New Richmond VFW in case the weather is turned south on us to be indoors. So don't feel that you can't show up because the weather's a little sad. We'll move it indoors. But that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You bet. And do we have any other
Veterans?
veterans here today with us? Stand up if you're a veteran. Stand up if you serve this country.
Very nice.
Thank you for your service.
You want a picture? Yes.
Come on up, Jay. We'll take it.
How about all the veterans? I think that would be a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, if you're a veteran. I think that's a great idea.
Brush his teeth this morning. Everyone look here. We'll go in 3, 2, 1.
One more.
Thanks.
Thank you again.
Thanks so much.
We're at letter D. We have a presentation by Emily Akers, Director, Clermont County Office of Budget and Management. Emily?
Morning, Emily.
Morning, board.
Okay, so I am back with an update from my presentation prior to Thanksgiving. And I will just do a really quick review because there really has not been any changes since my last presentation. So the first, we're just going to look really quickly at our revenue estimate for next year, which has a slight increase. Operating revenue over $88.6 million. Jimmy. Then we get to our draft appropriation for the general fund. This has not changed at all since my first presentation. So the operating is just over $87 million. Back to looking at our criminal justice and judicial is over 67% of our entire budget right now. I did make a couple changes to our cash balance for year end, and that is just I updated where we were at as actually the cash balance as of today with some estimated revenues and expenses. So add in the revenues, take out the expenses for next year. We're looking at having about a $54 million general fund cash balance at the end of 2026. We aim to keep 35% of our operating expenses in our cash fund. So once you reduce that $30 million out, we are looking at a $24 million cash fund excess reserve right now. And that does not include our $5.3 million budget stabilization fund. We're going to just touch on capital again really quick. The only change I made was the 26 draft appropriation. Administration is still reviewing all the capital requests. The change had to do with a couple of the carry forwards that I had of projects from 25 to 26 actually got under contract in the past couple weeks. So I was able to reduce the appropriation right now. But right now we have an unobligated cash of negative $11.5 million. As I said last time, I cannot adopt it. We cannot adopt a budget with a negative cash balance. So we will need to plan to transfer at least $11.5 million from general fund into the capital count if we want to keep the appropriation at over $30 million. Otherwise, we will have to take projects out if we do not want to put the cash in there to cover.
And Commissioners, there's also about $7.6 million that we're still reviewing of requests, capital requests.
Which before we're planning to adopt next Wednesday, and we should have all the capital requests reviewed by then.
So, Emily, just differentiate really quick. When these numbers come out, we talk about, having $30 million in reserve. Explain to people who are here today what that money is and what other encumbrances fall against that money.
Are you referring to the
35%.
I'm just saying when you just talk in generalizations, we talk about general fund cash and it's like, okay, at the end of the year, we're going to have $30 million left over. And it's like, if I were somebody that was running a department, I'd be like, well, the $1 million I need to run my department is no problem. Why won't the commissioners fund my project?
So I will say, when it comes to general fund cash, we budget our expenses next year to our revenue. Now, if there are vacancies throughout the year, then that means some of this expenses does not get spent. And then anything that doesn't get spent, builds that cash balance.
Correct.
We typically do not budget past our operating revenues, and that cash balance can be used for one-time expenses, one-time projects, or, to cover capital. The 35% reserve, that is kept there in case the bottom falls out of our revenue for some reason. Something happens with property taxes, something happens with, I don't know, sales tax. We thought when the pandemic hit that we're actually going to have, a revenue drop, but it didn't. It went the other way. But that is what we keep a reserve there for. That's the 35%. Anything above beyond that can be spent for one-time, plan to usually use it for one-time expenses. In 22 and 23, we transferred a total of $21.5 million into capital from that reserve amount to cover some of those large projects, Filiger Phase 1, and some juvenile expansion and other things like that. This $30 million in capital right now that's planned for next year, this actually is, the majority of that would be projects that were approved for 25 that have not happened, such as Filiger Phase 2 and 3. There's also some very large DPSS tower expenses included in 26, the $6 million microwave backhaul system. Mostly, there's some large HVACs. And yeah, this does not include over $7.5 million of capital request or a large portion of the facility master plan. Now, the facility master plan that hasn't fully been completed, a lot of the things that there are a large, I don't want to say large, there's a handful of things I'm sure that are in it that are now being done, such as roofs and HVACs that when that work started had not been approved yet, but those are now in the works. But there's a lot of capital expenses out there that are not even in the plan yet.
And to just kind of put that in just some layman's terms, 35% of that is actually kept there in reserves in case there's some impact. You talked about property taxes, but let's just talk about an impact maybe we never think about. We are heavily dependent on sales tax. And if sales tax doesn't come into this county, that's where the large number of money would go away. So we just talk about one disaster that has Eastgate 32 impacted by one of those car dealerships along that Grand Strand, like Holman Motors or Jeff Weiler, who would not sell cars for a year to have to rebuild their facility due to something totally out of our effect, which might be a tornado or other disasters that happen throughout this county. That 35% budget is exactly what that's there for. You have to continue to operate this county, even though you don't have that sales tax coming in. If the state of Ohio continues to take sales tax away from property, that doesn't impact us as much because it's inside millage. When we're talking about sales tax, we're talking about what we spend and what we pay sales tax on. We pay one of the lowest in the state. There are only 10 counties that have a 6.75 sales tax in Ohio out of 88. So, that's a big deal. That's why we try to keep it low. But I just try to make those distinctions so that when people hear those numbers, because frankly, if I wasn't involved in this particular work, I would not know how those numbers, fail out. I hear 35%, $30 million around, and I'm like, well, why aren't we funding everything that we want? Well, that's why. So thanks, Emily.
And, the sales tax is 45% of our general fund revenue, which is $42 billion.
Right.
And the general fund funds all but one elected official. The majority, the entire sheriff's operation, which is such a huge part of the county, is funded from that. It's a lot of money that comes out of our general fund, and we rely on that sales tax very heavily.
You bet.
So just general fund aside, if you look at the entire draft appropriation for the whole county, without the general fund, we are looking at $274 million. I had one change in there, and that was due to the general fund that needed appropriation. But outside of that, everything stands the same as a couple of weeks ago. Now, when I throw in the general fund, it's $364 million is the current draft appropriation. This is without any additional expenses being added or salary actions outside of bargaining salary, which is already included, with a total of a $44 million draw on all of our funds. The largest portion of that is the capital fund, of course, as we just discussed, and enterprise funds, which that is water and sewer mostly, and most of that draw has to do with their capital projects as well that are already planned. So what is left now is there are still decisions for the commissioners to make. Salary actions have not been included in this draft. Every 1% of non-bargaining salary action is about $347,000. That's salary plus fringes. We have just over $1.4 million available to balance the budget if you were trying to balance 2 to 26 revenue estimates. So I will do a quick rundown of what has not been included in this draft presentation. First, the salary or staffing related. The auditor was looking for an increase on salaries. We have the Board of Elections requesting salary increases across the board for their staff, as well as adding vacation buyouts, additional temporary pay and overtime. There was some already added to the budget from 25 to 26, but they're requesting more on top of that. The Common Pleas Clerk has annualized 25 salary increases requested, a new clerk's position at the courthouse office, 2 summer interns and overtime. Common Pleas Court is looking for salary increases. The Department of Public Safety is looking for an assistant director and an executive assistant. Domestic Relations Court, a summer intern that has been hired part-time, as well as 6 months cross-training for magistrate retiring next year. That would actually be a non-operating expense since it is a one-time expense. Juvenile Detention is looking for additional overtime. The Municipal Clerk, annualized salary increases and overtime for software implementation. The Municipal Court Probation, they are looking for an additional probation officer and administrative support staff. OSU Extension is wanting a program assistant. The prosecutor has annualized salary increases requested, additional salary increases for staff, as well as increase in rate and hours for their 2 investigator positions. The sheriff is requesting some more overtime, and the treasurer is looking for salary increases across the board. As we discussed last time, I've given the detail. We've discussed this detail with every commissioner and passed along any comps or anything that has been given to us by the other elected officials. The non-salary or staffing related, there's other expenses. The Board of Elections, there's been additional expenses added into their 26 budget from 25, but they're looking for more above and beyond that amount. The Common Pleas Clerk is looking for e-filing supplies and to do outreach. Department of Public Safety, some very expenses. Facilities increase for gas and electric. Juvenile Court is looking for some assigned counsel, psych evaluations, and interpreters. The detention is various expenses throughout. Probate Court, assigned counsel, OSU Extension, an increase in general fund contribution. The sheriff is looking for public record software, and so which was funded this year from their FOJ funds. So in year 2, that would be added to their operating expenses. That is why it's not being requested as a capital, because they already have it in place. And Soil and Water is looking for an increase in general fund contribution. So that is all I have on these. Any direction for next week would be great. If you have questions, myself and Jamie in our office will be available this week until, every day if you need us.
We will be over, you know that.
No question. And while we have you here, one of our next sessions is letter K, which is staff and county elected official discussions. I know we have a lot of folks in attention. Are there any staff or elected officials that would like to address the board at this time? Hearing none. Oh, there we go. There we go. Tell us who you are.
Anita Beckman, Judge, Clermont County Municipal Court.
Yeah.
First of all, I wanted to thank the board, Mr. Eigel, and OMB for all of your help and assistance in considering our request. I want the board and everyone to realize that our goals continue to be a balance between rehabilitation of offenders and protecting public safety. It's 100%. We believe our mission is to protect the interests of the public. We want to work with the board in terms of how we can also help address the cost. We can clearly see what some of the issues are and the struggles there are to make sure that everybody's requests are fulfilled and yet maintain a buffer for if some of those issues come up, especially the sales tax. We're worried about it as well. I wanted to basically reach out and thank everyone for your assistance and consideration, and then also offer our assistance in any way that we can help. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge.
Thank you, Judge Beckman. Anyone else? Okay. Thanks, Emily. Thanks for being here today. Okay. We will move to letter E. Letter E is public participation. Is anyone here who would like to participate from the public? If you would, you just need to be called on. And
Yeah.
anyone? Yes? During this time, the board does not answer questions nor engage in debate. No member of the public may comment about a matter that's not within the purview of the commissioner's responsibilities. However, the commissioners can respond if they'd like. Commissioners are not expected to comment. Each speaker will be recognized by the board president, and in accordance with the rules, you have 5 minutes. Tell us who you are.
Morning, Chuck Gallagher, Clermont County Airport. Thank you for letting me speak here this morning. I'm here to talk about the petition for annexation, which is on the agenda this morning. I'm in opposition. The airport is in opposition of this annexation. It is located in the runway protection zone. So the runway protection zone is a trapezoidal area on the ground at the ends of the airport runway designed to protect people and property on the ground from accidents and to allow for safe operations. The size and dimensions of the RPZ are defined by the Federal Aviation Administration. So essentially, the RPZ is essential for safe operations at any airport, big or small. And there's some pretty good restrictions on what can be built within the RPZ. I produced the information for you. I'm not going to read it all. I'll go through some highlights here. There's a little bit of history on this property. So in 2019, the current owners purchased this property. They were told of their building restrictions on this property, and they challenged that. The Batavia Township Board of Zoning Appeals upheld it. It went through the litigation process. It was decided in 2021. So now they're coming back around round two, and they want to get annexed into the village. I don't know what they've been promised, but I don't think they're annexing into the village to get public works and police service 2 miles away from the village. So it is very crucial that we maintain this runway protection zone. And I understand it's a type 2 annexation, and I'm not a lawyer, and I know there's stipulations involved with that. So I'm going to ask you to deny it, just for airport protection of airport safety, people in the airplanes, operations. If we can't deny it, I'm going to ask you to delay it, because we are currently, if you remember in the July meeting, we had presentations of the new airport master plan and airport layout plan, which I've got some drawings and attached in the back here. The runway protection zones are called out clearly in these plans. And, as I point out, they say draft right now. They'll have final FAA approval here shortly. And I think it's imperative that we wait until the FAA can stamp this before we let another zoning authority take control of this property. I'm just very nervous about losing this to a different zoning authority. And then I guess they normally only give us 3 minutes.
You're like, what else can I say?
What else can I
All
talk about?
This is my last pitch. All right. Deny, delay, but also what I've read on the internet was a type 2 annexation. The paperwork has to be completed thoroughly and properly. The signatures on the copy that I got were not signed right, for what that's worth. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.
Anyone else? Sure, go ahead. Tell us who you are.
Good morning. Kyle Lewis with the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. Good morning. I won't take probably 3 minutes at all. Chuck covered a lot of the details pretty well. But I'd like to remind the commissioners that under Title 49 of U.S. Code, Subtitle 7, there are grant obligations. With taking federal grant money from the FAA, you are tied to 40 separate grant obligations. I want to run through just a few of those right now. Number 5 is preserving rights and powers. So you cannot take any action that would give away rights and powers over the airport property. Also, number 19, operation and maintenance of the airport, which would include the safe operation. That ties directly to the runway safety area and runway protection zones. Hazard removal and mitigation is number 20. So any action that would create hazards to air navigation, which constructing certain things in the runway protection zone or runway safety area. And number 21, compatible land use requires applicable zoning authority under the grant obligation. So I just want to remind the commissioners that Title 49 U.S. Code, Subtitle 7 of the grant obligations. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank
you. Anyone else? Tell us who you are.
My name is Colleen Price. I'm a resident of Batavia Township. A lot of what I'm going to say may be duplicative, but I'm going to read what I wrote. Good morning, commissioners. I'm asking you to deny the Type 2 annexation petition for the parcels located directly across from the Clermont County Airport runway, at least part of which lies inside the FAA-defined Runway Protection Zone, or RPZ. First, to be clear, I am not aware if the landowners have stated their intentions or motivations for seeking annexation. However, by seeking annexation into the village of Batavia, they are seeking a change in jurisdiction. And that shift matters because land inside the RPZ is not ordinary land. It's federally recognized high-risk safety land, and the zoning authority that controls it has life and death implications. The RPZ is a federally designated hazard zone, not a typical zoning district. The FAA's purpose for RPZs is clear. Keep people and structures away from areas with elevated risk of aircraft crashes. Avoid land uses that attract people, vehicles, or activity. Maintain the zone free of development that increases exposure on the ground. These parcels have a documented history of aircraft incidents, evidence referenced in the Clermont County Court of Common Pleas decision involving these same landowners. Photographs of aircraft down in the RPZ were a part of that record. This is not theoretical risk. It is known, documented hazard. Annexation would shift safety critical zoning authority away from the township and county. Batavia Township and County have consistently applied FAA-compatible land use caution around the airport, demonstrated by the BZA's decisions and upheld by the court. The Village of Batavia, by contrast, has previously approved airport-adjacent development despite FAA compatibility warnings. That difference in approach makes a transfer of authority over RPZ land a public safety concern, not a landowner preference issue. My understanding related to annexation is this, that you must approve a Type 2 annexation only if all criteria are met. If the annexation endangers public health or safety, you should be permitted to deny it. Another reason annexation now is problematic is that would undermine the county's ongoing airport planning. Efforts currently underway to update the airport master plan and the FAA layout plan that Chuck referenced. These documents guide everything from compatible land use to future runway safety improvements, and they are not finalized. Transferring RPZ authority before these plans are complete removes the county's ability to ensure consistency with FAA safety recommendations. Once annexed, the county has no zoning control regardless of what the completed master plan may require. There's also no demonstrated public benefit to this annexation, only an increase in public risk. While the village has responded with the public services it will provide these landowners should this annexation proceed, they have taken no action to begin acknowledging the criticality and sensitivity of this land inside the RPZ. With their inaction, they demonstrate they do not take seriously their responsibilities for the safety of their residents on the ground and in the air. Public services cannot mitigate aviation hazards. Incompatible uses in the RPZ increase crash risk exposure for pilots, passengers, students, and people on the ground. It creates potential liability and conflicts with known federal safety guidance. The village is taking zero actions to demonstrate they understand and are willing to adhere to FAA guidance in order to mitigate or even simply to acknowledge these risks. Commissioners, this is not about opposing growth. It is about protecting the public from foreseeable, documented, preventable aviation hazards. These parcels sit in the most sensitive safety zone around the airport. Annexing them into a jurisdiction with a different approach to airport adjacent zoning places lives at risks and undermines your ongoing aviation planning. For these reasons, and in accordance with your authority, I respectfully ask you to deny this annexation petition.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sure.
Hi, I'm Ray Nizer. I live over on Clough Pike. I don't have any prepared comments, but first of all, I agree completely with the severe risk to the airport, and that being a very important consideration here. I also just wanted to remind everybody that the only reason this annexation is even a possibility is because of the last annexation that took place, where the village is continuing to try to reach out a long arm into the township and grab more and more property. The last annexation, if you recall, a little over 2 years ago, came before the county commissioners, and the county commissioners, then it was a type 1 annexation, for very sound reasons related to the airport, fire and EMS, schools, etc., said that it was a net negative to the community. Certainly the negatives outweighed the positives. And so what they did at that time was went out and bought a strip of land 25 feet wide, approximately 750 feet long, so that they could satisfy the requirement of the law for a type 2 annexation, which says you have to have at least 5% of a shared boundary with the property that you're annexing. They had nowhere near that, but they bought this strip of land that's unusable, not really a functional piece of the village or anything else for that matter, to be able to force the commissioners to go ahead and allow the annexation to happen as a type 2 annexation. This is just another in a continued series of shady actions by developers and the village, and I ask that you again delay or deny this annexation. Thank you. Nowhere near 5 minutes.
Anyone else? Sure. Tell us who you are, where you live.
I'm here about the annexations too. I think you should deny it. A type 2 and a type 1. The village making a choice there. That's just trash politics. That's like getting a petition to stop 650 homes right next door. They pulled a bait and switch. Got around a petition. That's like the township to stop 1,100 homes. Pulled a bait and switch on their own vote. At 650 homes, put that airport in jeopardy. There's lawsuits holding that up. The only thing holding it up. That put it in jeopardy. The village is out for that airport. They want that runway to add 200 more homes. They're trying their best to get to 650 homes. Hard telling what they have planned for right in front of that runway. That's trash politics. I'm just no lawyer or nothing, but the people spoke loud and clear. They're tired of this stuff with the petitions. The village went right around it. People were tired of the township. People went around them too. I think the people's voices ought to be heard. Anything that jeopardizes that airport, it's a 200 people employed there. It's a flight school with UC connected there, a Warbird Museum connected there. You're going to put that all in jeopardy because some trash official in the village wants to have it out with the airport. I'm totally against it.
Thanks, sir. Anyone else? Anyone else about public participation that they had an issue that they wanted to discuss this morning? Then I'll close public participation. We'll move on with our agenda. Thanks. Thanks for expressing your opinions. We have another review on this exact process at 11 a.m. So I'm going to move on to G. I won't move. In fact, is he on right now?
I think he's waiting for.
Brian, you on?
Wait till 11.
You want to wait till 11?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can wait till 11.
We're going to wait till 11 a.m. for the process to review this annexation. Since we have that on the agenda then, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Board of consent agenda has been approved for today's meeting. You have had it early and had an opportunity to review it. Are there any issues that need to be removed from the consent agenda for further discussion?
No.
Then I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as approved.
I make the motion.
It's been moved. I'll second that. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. We will move to item H.
Do you want to identify who we have? Do you want to identify who we have so they understand?
Yeah, okay. I
Okay.
think that's fine.
Go ahead.
Gail, you want to go ahead and identify who we have on?
Oh,
right now?
sure. With us today is our attorney. He's our outside counsel for the board. It's Attorney Ryan Spencer. And he is here today to address any issues that come up during the review, if we have any. Okay?
Of the annexation. and-
Of the annexation and everything in that process. Because we do have a resolution prepared for today.
Morning, Mr. Spitzer.
So at 11, we'll hear from Ryan. We'll try and get some of this non-consent agenda in. The non-consent agenda, I believe, starts on 7. Non-consent agenda starts with item 15. It's a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt Resolution 181-25 to approve payment to vendors in the amount of $1,982,486.65 as outlined in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated December 1st, 2025, BCC directed prepaid invoice reports, and the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on 11/26/25, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants pursuant to and in compliance with section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
Make the motion.
It's been moved and I will second it. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 16. Item number 16 is Captain, it was going to be Captain Goslin, right? Captain, glad you're here this morning.
Captain Goslin with the Sheriff's Office. This recommendation is to authorize David L. Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the Clermont County Sheriff's Office Safe Unit Oversight Board Memorandum of Understanding between the Clermont County Sheriff's Office, Clermont County Prosecutor's Office, Clermont County Coroner's Office, and the Clermont County Fire Investigative Unit. The MOU establishes the procedures and responsibilities of the parties in regard to the involvement and contributions to the support and operation of the Clermont County Sheriff's Office Safe Unit.
Board, any questions about that?
No.
I'd ask for a motion.
I make the motion to approve.
I'll second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thank you, Captain. Item number 17. Economic Development. Sarah?
Sarah?
Item number 17 is a recommendation to authorize David L. Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute Amendment Number 1 to the subgrant agreement between the Board of County Commissioners and the Miami Township Board of Trustees. Previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 7/31/24 for the U.S. Department of HUD CDBG grant program, with said Amendment Number 1 to amend the contract term expiration from 12/31/25 to 10/1/26. They had to get some easements for phase 2 of their project. Turns out it took a little longer than they planned, so they just need some more time.
Thanks, Sarah. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 17. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thanks, Sarah. Item number 18.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Ms. Rowland, Water Resources. Item 18 is a recommendation to authorize David L. Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, or in his absence, any other member of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute a change order number 1 to the contract with Structural Systems Repair Group, LLC, Cincinnati, Ohio, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 5/14/25 for project number 640160244 for the MGS Water Treatment Plant Building Improvement Project located in Miami Township, which represents a decrease in the amount of $25,000 for a total adjusted contract price at a date of $195,510, as well as a non-compensatory extension of time of 3 days for a revised contract, a completion date of 9/19/25 for additions, deletions, and their modifications.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 18. Do I have a motion for approval?
Make the motion.
I'll second that. Any further clarifications? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Yes. Item number 19.
Item 19 is a recommendation to authorize David L. Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, or in his absence, any other member of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Rack and Ballar Excavating Company, Inc., Hamilton, Ohio, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 1/29/25 for project number 640160231 for the Rumpke Road Area Water Main Replacement, a project located in Union Township, which represents a decrease in the amount of $151,021.40 for a total adjusted contract price at a date of $2,032,555.60, as well as a reduction time of 65 calendar days for a revised contract, a completion date of 9/18/25.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 19. Do I have a motion for approval?
Make the motion.
I'll second. Any further conversation? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 20.
This is a recommendation to adopt Resolution 182-25, determining how to make improvements for the construction, operations, and maintenance of the White Oak Road Water Main Replacement Project, Phase 2, and the White Oak Road Sewer Replacement Project located in Pierce Township, as outlined in Exhibits A and B, and designated as their project numbers 64001, 60233, and 6402-60233, respectively, in conformance with the detail of the plans, specifications, estimated cost and financing, and approve a request to advertise for bid for the same their project numbers pursuant to the plans and specifications, and authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in the newspaper general circulation on Thursday at 12/11/25, scheduling a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting on Thursday 1/8/26 at 2 p.m., which with the bids to be received until 2 p.m. Local time there, Thursday 1/15/26 in the office of the Board of County Commissioners in Batavia, Ohio, where they will be publicly opened and read out loud. The notice will also be posted on the county homepage under legal notices at the following link at www.clermontcountyohio.gov.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 20. Do I have a motion for approval?
Make the motion.
Then, and I'll second. Any further conversation or discussion?
Poor Chris, you've got the whole show today, don't you?
Yeah.
You're
Roll
just taking
call.
Lyle's spot here.
Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 21.
Item 21 is recommendation to reject all bids received on 10/9/25 for project number 64001, 6238, and 64002, 60238 for the water resources of maintenance building expansion and renovation project located in the village of Batavia, pursuant to in compliance with Chapter 307 of the Ohio Revised Code relative to the terms and conditions of publicly bidding, and approve the request to re-advertise for bids for the same project numbers pursuant to the revised plans and specifications, and authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in the newspaper general circulation Thursday at 12/11/25, scheduling a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting on Thursday 1/8/26 at 1 p.m. With the bids to be received until 2 p.m. Local time there, Thursday 1/22/26 in the office of the Board of County Commissioners, Batavia, Ohio, and will be publicly open and read out loud. The notice will also be posted on the county homepage website under legal notices at the following at www.clermontcountyohio.gov.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 21. Do I have a motion for approval?
Make the motion.
I'll second that motion. Roll call, yeah.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Thank you,
Chris, thank you. Item number 22 is senior services.
Angie Levacy, Deputy Assistant County Administrator. Item 22 is a recommendation to execute the extension of contract for services with Clermont Senior Services, Inc. of Batavia, Ohio, for the continuation of the provision of services or facilities to the senior citizens of Clermont County, as those persons are defined in the Older Americans Act of 1965, during calendar year 2026, in conjunction with the 1.3 mil tax levied upon the real property of the County of Clermont, Ohio, and pursuant to Section 1 of the Contract for Senior Services, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on November 3rd, 2021, and in accordance with the letter of intent executed by David L. Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, on October 8th, 2025, with all other terms and conditions in the contract to remain in full force and effect, and contingent upon the adoption of the annual appropriations for fiscal year 2026 and the issuance of the required purchase order.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 22. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Any further conversation? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Thanks, Angie. Item number 23.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This
Morning.
is a recommendation to execute the service agreement between the Board of Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, and American Solutions for Business, 6770 Conservancy Road, Germantown, Ohio, 45327 for the provision of printing and mailing of real estate and mobile home tax bills for the Treasurer's Office located at 101 East Main Street, Batavia, Ohio, 45103, effective for a period of 2 years commencing on December 15, 2025, at a rate not to exceed $35,000 annually and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 23. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion. Any further questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thank you, Treasurer Zimmerman. Item 24.
Good morning.
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 Amy Tanner, Office of Management and Budget. Item number 24, recommendation to resolve to approve and authorize changes in the annual appropriation, resolution number 151-24 for calendar year 2025. The following are supplemental appropriations. South Afton TIF, other expenses, $252,000. Court of Appeals, other expenses, $2,000. Home Investment Program, regular salary, just reallocation, $4,000. Sheriff Road Patrol, $328,134 in other expenses, and Clerk of Municipal Court, other expenses, $15,000. And then we just have one cash transfer. That's general fund to the Sheriff's Contract Fund for $328,134.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 24. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Any further conversation? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thanks, Jamie. That concludes our consent agenda, our non-consent. Are there any additions to the agenda at this time?
We do not have any. I would suggest maybe a recess, board recess till 11 o'clock.
Yep, we will recess to 11 o'clock, just a couple minutes from now. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to go into recess till 11
And
o'clock.
I will second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. It's 11 o'clock and we have returned from recess. I'll ask for a motion to come out of recess and back into our general session. Do you have a motion?
I'll make the motion to come back.
I will second. Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes, we are back. And in our agenda, we have a 11 a.m. review of a proposed petition for annexation of 29.88 acres from Batavia Township to the Village of Batavia, Clermont County, Ohio, pursuant to Section 709.023 of the Ohio Revised Code. Just to talk about that, if this were not to annexation, a public hearing would be required. But in this particular case, since it is, then there is a review as needed. So to start off this review, I'm going to ask for Craig. Craig, are you prepared to give us an overview of what this annexation looks like?
I can. It's not required, but.
Yeah, we'd love to have it.
I'm gonna leave my coat on. Gail did not turn up the heat. So we have a proposed annexation, 29.884 acres. There was the initial plat that was submitted had some errors in it. A revised plat was submitted, and the revised plat is acceptable for annexation purposes. So I reviewed the plat and description, 29.884 acres owned by Beaches Trees and Runway Storage. Parcel number 012008E026 and 012008E031 on the tax maps of Clermont County. A few of the tests that the engineer report that the petition contains an accurate plat and legal description. And that is correct. They have provided that. A report that the annexation acreage does not exceed 500 acres. So we have a 29.8 acre and exceeds that. The current village of Batavia is approximately 2,219 acres. The territory proposed to be annexed shares a contiguous boundary with the municipality for a length of 485 feet, which is 6.9% of the perimeter. So the minimum requirement in this annexation type is 5%. So it also meets that criteria. The annexation will not create an unincorporated area of the township that is completely surrounded by the territory proposed for annexation. So we call this the no islands. The annexation cannot create an island of township within the village, and this annexation meets that criteria. One public road, Taylor Road, will be divided or segmented by the proposed boundary lines between the township and a municipal corporation. This will create a road maintenance problem. Therefore, 500.52 feet of Taylor Road, County Road 122, as shown on the provided annexation plat, will no longer be maintained by the Clermont County Engineer's Office if the annexation is approved by the board. We have a revised plat and legal description provided by Shannon Field Services, and they are acceptable for annexation purposes. So we have it's a 29 acre annex, basically at the end of the runway at the airport. And it's on what I would consider the west side of Taylor Road. And it's two properties that are included in the proposed annex.
Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Commissioner Corcoran, any questions or?
No questions.
None? Okay. Also, I wanted to make sure I recognized the attorneys for the board. Ryan Spitzer is on here this morning. Ryan, thanks for being here with us. I wanted to make sure if you had prepared something that you had an opportunity to participate. So, Ryan, good to see you.
Good morning, board. Thank you. Just wanted to give a brief overview of this type of expedited annexation and how it kind of compares to what you've heard from some of the comments earlier this morning. So a quote, regular annexation contemplates whether the proposed benefit outweighs the negatives, broadly speaking. That doesn't exist under a type 2 expedited annexation under 709.023 of the revised code. So this type of type 2 expedited annexation means that the parcels are not excluded from the township for purposes of real property taxes. And it just requires that each of the landowners made the request, which happened, that the village consented to the annexation request, which happened. I'll defer to the board, but I don't believe the township filed anything in terms of an objection. In short, an objection that equals consent under subsection D of the revised code. And so that leaves the board with really an ability to only review subsection E. There are 7 criteria that need to be met, and if they are met, then the county doesn't have much discretion, if any, to approve or deny the proposed annexation. There is also a procedural cure section that requires the board to correct any procedural defects. And so it does appear that all 7 of the criteria are met for the proposed annexation. And that conclusion is the same as the conclusion reached by the county's planning department and Mr. Reisner, who I think just spoke in terms of the plots, the requirements, and the size.
So just to go back and review that for a second, this is about annexation of property. I understand that the owners have consented to this particular annexation. What does that do for any other restrictions or, like, for instance, the operation of the airport?
Yes, so the roadway protection zone, as I understand it, is a significant concern, and I can understand and appreciate why. But any kind of restrictions that would be on that RPZ would and shouldn't be impacted by this annexation. Ultimately, the zoning would be controlled by the village, but they wouldn't have the ability, and quite frankly, neither would the county, to trump what the federal requirements were under the FAA for airport protection.
So the annexation changes the territory or ownership of the territory from Batavia Township to the village of Batavia, but it does not trump any of the federal restrictions that might be associated with those properties. Is that correct?
I'm not aware of anything that would allow a local Ohio political subdivision to trump federal regulations.
Thank you. Commissioner Corcoran, any further conversation?
I'll wait till we vote.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Spitzer.
Thank you.
You bet. Anybody, and you know, this is just a review, but is there anyone here that would like to speak on this issue that hasn't spoken before? Please tell us who you are.
Morning.
Morning.
Engineer. I'm representing the agent for the petitioners for annexation. I just, if there's any questions, as far as the road maintenance, the village has assumed, as required by statute, to assume the maintenance of any divided or bisected road or highway. So that's been accomplished, and since no objections have been filed, the board is actually mandated to approve the annexation. As far as the zoning, just for those people that don't know, on an annexation, the property will come in zoned as it was or is in the township until affirmative action is taken by the village or city pursuant to legislation, pursuant to an ordinance or resolution to change it. And of course, no village or city can supersede federal law, if that's the question.
Okay.
So, as I said, if no objections were filed, it's pretty much mandated to approve it. Just would like to comment. I'm kind of, almost jokingly, I'm kind of persona non grata over here because of my annexations that I represent people on, but I would just like to comment that the staff has always been courteous to me, very professional, and treated me with a lot of respect when I come over with my plats and petitions. So I just want to comment on your staff. They're very professional.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just have one
Drew?
small comment.
Tell them who you are, Drew.
I'm Drew. I'm the county planner. When it comes to the runway protection zone, any construction or alteration requires the property owner to file a Form 7460 with the FAA, just to make sure they're in compliance with any of the modifications or construction that goes on the property. And I think non-compliance would result in civil penalties to the property owner and likely the village if they went against those requirements from the feds. So I just wanted to lay that out there.
Thank you. Anyone else? Chuck?
I just want to clarify
On up.
And the 7460 is absolutely correct. And the Beach Brothers have done that and they've complied with that. So Mr. Spitzer, I just want to clarify one thing. And the FAA stance is they fully control the airspace. So when we're looking at this trapezoid, it goes out and it goes like that. And you got 20-1, 34-1, Part 77, a bunch of different airspace restrictions. But what happens on the physical ground is different. So, say they can go out so far and build an 11-foot structure, but if they want to build something lower than that, closer, they can, because the full authority of what happens on the ground, the FAA holds up its local zoning authority. It would be county sponsor and the county airport zoning board. So that's where we get into the incompatible land use issues that we've battled with the other annexation. So that's the only thing I want to clarify. So yes, the FAA has authority, but they have full authority on the airspace, and the actual use on the ground generally falls under local zoning. And that's what's going to change here. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Then I'll close the review.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And would you like me to read the resolution?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
This is a resolution and a recommendation pursuant to Section 709.023 of the Ohio Revised Code that the Board of County Commissioners adopt Resolution 183-25, resolving to grant the petition for annexation of the territory described therein to the Village of Batavia, Clermont County, Ohio, be and hereby is granted, and the clerk of the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio is hereby directed to enter on the journal all the orders of the board relating to the annexation and to deliver a certified copy of the entire record of the annexation proceedings, including the resolution of the board signed by a majority of the members, the petition, the map, and all other papers on file to the fiscal officer of the Village of Batavia.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion for discussion.
Okay. We can discuss it.
I believe that we have until the 15th to make a final vote on this. Our next session will be on the 10th. I believe it's in the best interest of this county that we have all three board members here voting. At this point, if one of us were to negate the acceptance of this and the approval, it would be thrown out anyway. And I'm not saying how anybody would vote, but I believe at this time that we should go in for a call for a delay for the annexation.
Then I would make a motion that we set this resolution on the table until our meeting on the 10th, Gail?
Yes.
At such time that all three commissioners will be here to discuss and take a final vote on it. So that's my motion. Do I have a second to table?
I will second that.
Okay,
Roll call.
all right.
All right.
So the motion is tabled for today.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
But before we get out of here, you know, I want to make sure that commissioners' jobs aren't always a good thing to do. You know, a lot of legislation that comes down to us, we are an extension of the legislative arm. We don't get to make decisions that aren't outlined in the ORC code. It's not one of those things where I can get up in the morning and decide to shut down the roads in Clermont County. I can't do those kinds of things. I can't deny annexations. I can change property tax. That's a permissive requirement. I can only do the things that are an extension of the legislation of the state of Ohio. If it isn't outlined in the ORC, I can't do it. You know, we have specific timeframes. We have to follow, you know, obviously the good counsel of our attorneys and those that represent the board. So I just want to make sure that you understand that. You know, a lot of people look at commissioners to be able to make, you know, any decision that you would want to. We can do that, but then there are people who show up that represent clients that make demands per the law that we have to comply. So I just want to make sure you know that these decisions aren't always easy. Sometimes it takes a detailed discussion of what the law and what the ORC says as to what we can and we cannot do. So what I would tell you is thanks for being here today. Thanks for expressing, you know, all your concerns and oppositions, and by all means.
Can you or have you petitioned the legislature to update the ORC to close some of these loopholes that are violating the public interest, the public trust, the public good?
I'll step off the dais for a moment. I'm the president of the County Commissioners Association of Ohio for all 88 counties. I can tell you that our advocacy group has went after those requirements at the state. I can tell you that many legislative ideas have been put forth, not only by our organization, but by your representatives here in Clermont County, Representative Byrd and Representative Gene Schmidt. And I can tell you that those so far have not been successful. You know, some of the things that they have proposed for annexations would affect exactly what goes on here today. But unfortunately, you know, there are many, many more members in the legislative branch than just our two, you know, and so a lot of times they are not successful in that. But yes, it has been broached at many times, but we only have the power of those, you know, individuals who sit at the state representative. You and me, you know, we have the power of, you know, 11.5 million voters in the state of Ohio. You know, there are lots of people who would like to see updates when it comes to zoning laws in this state. So I would tell you, I would encourage you to, you know, contact your representatives and don't stop there, you know, so but that was a great question. And yes, I've been very active on that. And so have our other commissioners. Anything else? Well, thank you. We'll move on with our regular agenda. Any additions, Tom?
No additions. We're at executive session.
Okay. I'm requesting an executive session per 121.22 G1 and G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the employment, dismissal, or compensation of a public employee or more public employees, to confer with the attorney for the board concerning disputes involving the board that are subject to pending or imminent court action. Do I have a motion to go into executive?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. We will move to executive session. We will return and we will conduct further business. Thank you. We have returned from executive session. There were no decisions made and no actions taken. We will move on with our regular agenda. We are back to letter K, county staff and elected official discussions, although I know we've had a few of those. Any other county elected officials or staff want to address the board this morning?
No, sir.
Seeing none, I will move back to additions to the agenda.
We have we do have two personnel actions, community and economic development and water resources to add to the agenda.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion to add these two to the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved and I will second that. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, they've both been added to the agenda, and Sandy Tahad is here to go over those. Sandy?
Thank you, Commissioners. First is with Community and Economic Development, Chad Zink, Building Inspector 1, termination probationary removal, effective today, December 1st, 2025.
Board, you've heard the reading of that resolution. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. And the second one?
The second is Water Resources Department, Zachary Embry, the Maintenance Supervisor. This is an extension of a probationary period, effective February 21st, 2026.
Board, do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other additions, Tom?
Nothing further.
Okay, I will move to letter L is member comments. Members, any comments today we haven't had already?
No, thank you.
You know, annexations are always a challenge, aren't they? I mean, people, you really have to understand what, you know, our extension of the state arm really is, and what we can do with those legally and what we cannot do. So hearing no other, I will ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting today.
Motion.
Been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, thank you for being here today on this first day of December. It won't be long and we will be right at Christmas. So if you haven't gotten your Christmas shopping started, by all means do so. Thanks for being here and we will see you next week.